Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Okay, guys. Welcome back to the Not the Golden Child podcast. The podcast where we deal with problems on a day-to-day basis because the world doesn't love us. But it's okay. Anyway, so
things right now.
we're going through some
family
issues.
A tough time.
If we seem a little off today, that's why. We're really going through it. There's nothing in particular. We're trying to keep it, on the down low and. It's we don't.
Okay.
You might find out about it or something.
Yeah, it's okay. I wrote you guys a poem. Okay. That's so beautiful.
She hasn't even started. She's still reading it. Moment of silence for her spoken word poem.
We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We chumped, never asking why. We kissed. I fell under your spell. A love no one can deny. Don't you ever say, I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie. Running for my life. I will always want you. I came in. I came in like a wrecking ball. Oh my. I never hit so hard and low. All I ever wanted to do was break your walls.
You heartless bitch.
No, I was laughing at you.
I know.
Whoever did one. You just did. I already did one. Okay.
Wreck me.
Yeah, you.
You wrecked me. The light's not on, just like the light in my heart.
Jessica used to do that.
Oh,
Jessica used to be here for us.
that was beautiful. It was really heartfelt. I have one too. I like big butts and I cannot lie. All you other those kids and I. When a girl walks in, the itty bitty waves. Turn around, step in your face. You get sprung. That one was from the heart.
I could tell it was very heartfelt.
It was hard for me to get out. It was
Very emotional.
it was a lot for me.
I could tell
Do you
it
have
was
anything?
I could feel it. I don't. I could.
From the top, let's make it drop.
That's some wet. That's
Wet.
wet.
That's some wet ass pussy.
That's some wet.
Before we get started, going to give a content warning for any listeners that are sensitive to certain material because this video contains mentions and allusions to alleged or potential CASA violence and other sensitive material. So if this is something that would affect you, we will see you in the next one.
Okay, so anyway, today we're talking about some missing persons cases.
Persons cases. Yeah.
Oh no!
Jesus Christ.
Jessica, stop moving out the tree.
She struggles now that he's not here.
And she stares at the place that he once was. That was poetic as shit for no reason.
Me when I'm a poet.
I'm a poet and you don't even know it.
Ooh. Her. Ooh.
Actually, one of my poems does say that. It says you turn me into a poet and you don't even know it.
God, I know exactly what poem you're talking about. He was like,
First with each verse, some would rhyme, some shit, and I said, type shit. Anyway, hit the snoop, and so yeah, we got some real good missing person cases for you. By good, I mean they're sad.
yes. Well, mine has a good ending, so I think I should go last to brighten up the ending.
Yeah.
Also, it's pretty long.
I'm realizing all of these photos I sent myself of it are out of order, so I'm gonna have a fan-fucking-tastic time doing this.
Just use the website first, and then you organize your stuff.
Yeah, I'll organize my stuff. Well, yep, that's fine. Okay. Tell your whole story.
So, I'd like to say that this one is from Reddit. on a r/unsolved mysteries. Um, taken or invalid is the that posted this about 7 years ago. Okay. It is about a woman named Susan Powell. The title is Susan Powell Disappeared in 2009. In 2013, the police declared it a cold case. For the last 3 years, a colleague of mine, an investigative reporter, has been looking into it himself. Here's what he has learned. Okay. On December 6th, 2009, Susan Powell disappeared, and she has never been found. The police from the start suspected her husband, Josh Powell, had killed her. His only alibi was that on midnight of the night of her disappearance, he'd taken the kids on an impromptu camp trip in the desert in the middle of a blizzard. Um, which is crazy. Um, the evidence against Josh mounted steadily. Splatters of Susan's blood were found in the home. Josh's coworkers reported that he had been telling them that if he ever had to hide a body, he'd stuff it in an abandoned mine. And Susan's handwritten will was found, which specifically said, "If I die, it may not have been an accident, even if it looks like one." Her 7-year-old son, Charlie, told his grandparents that when his dad drove them into the desert on the night of her disappearance, mommy was in the trunk, in quotes, is what he said. He said that his father drove them out to a mine. Mom and dad got out of the car, Charlie said, and mom disappeared. It seemed like an open and shut case, but without Susan's body, the police weren't confident enough to press charges, and so they sat on it for more than 2 years, slowly building up evidence until on February 5th, 2012, Josh doused his home in gas, attacked his children with a hatchet, and burned the building down. He and his 2 children burned to death. I didn't know this part. Damn. I didn't read this far. I read the first little bit. Um the police never found Susan's body. They never found out how she died, and they never found definitive proof that the obvious huh that the obvious that she had been killed by her husband had happened. With their lead suspect dead, they closed the case. There's also new developments in the case section. All of that is old news. The news is, in this case, comes from a colleague of mine, an investigative reporter named Dave. I'm gonna say that Cawley. It's like Cawley. Let's go with Cawley. 3 years ago, Cawley filed a request with the police department and got a hold of more than 10,000 pages worth of documents related to the case. Since then, he made his full-time job to talk to everyone involved, visit every possible crime scene, and try to keep the search for Susan Powell alive. Some of the things he had learned are jaw-dropping. He's tracked down Josh Powell's first love and an ex-girlfriend who got away from him before he met Susan. She described how Josh killed her pet rats. She also shared Facebook posts. Christ. I know. This is crazy. um she also shared Facebook posts she made as soon as Susan disappeared, telling Josh to come forward. From Josh's old diaries and documents from his parents' divorce, he found out that his father groomed him to believe that women are only good for sex. Josh's father made videos of himself describing sexual fantasies of molesting his own daughter, and when Josh married Susan, kept a collection of creepy shots he'd secretly taken of her. Ugh. We'll probably have to put a warning on this one too, because I didn't know it was gonna get that deep. Yeah. Apparently that affected Josh. When Josh was a teenager, um, killed his 4-year-old sister's gerbils and made her stick her hand in the blood. Her hands in the blood, more than just one. He found out that his mother was trying to keep him away from her because she caught him and his brother sexually assaulting her. Oh my god! He's learned a lot more than that, but he's not allowed to share it all with me yet. The station we work for is turning his investigative work into a podcast, and they're not letting him share it until they get the chance to put it in. Ew. Yeah. What? What's ew?
They're turning into a podcast?
Well, because I guess it's a get it out there, I guess. When people listen to podcasts a lot.
I mean, we have one, but I'm saying like, it,
Well, no, the investigator's making it into.
no, I know, but are they making that whole story into a podcast?
Well, I think
Like
it's
in
called.
and of itself, or just an episode for the podcast?
I am not sure, but the thing is, it's called the Cold Podcast, so I'm assuming they do like cold cases.
Okay, because it low-key sounded like they were making a whole podcast just
They-
surrounding.
They possibly are starting with this cold case, but it seems
Mm.
like they're just gonna do cold cases. So there are links here. I could tell one of the editors to put either like their link for their podcast that they're
Yeah, we'll
working on
probably
or
put
whatnot.
links to everything.
But that is the end of
You okay?
that.
Who did you just wave at? The camera?
Jessica used to be behind the camera.
I miss her.
Anyway,
for us. Is that it?
yes, that was it for
Okay.
this one.
Are you still going, or do you want me to just? Do you want to go last then?
Do you only have one?
I only have one because it's also.
Do you want to read my second one? Because
Do you have a second one?
well, because she had sent me another one just in case. We
Mhm.
had time.
Yeah.
I can send it to you.
No, it's
It's
okay. I have a shorter
it's-
one as well, but you should.
Yeah, you want me to read it? Okay. I'd like to say it's from Wikipedia. I don't know exactly who it's by. But it's the disappearance of Brandon Swanson.
That sounds like a fake name.
Well, that's him right there.
Oh, poor guy.
Brandon Swanson. Oh shit! Sorry, I clicked out of it. Hold on. Okay. Shortly after midnight on May 14th, 2008, Brandon Swanson, born January 3rd, 1989, of Marshall, Minnesota, United States, drove his car into a ditch on his way home from celebrating the end of the spring semester with fellow students from Minnesota West Community and
Yep.
Technical Colleges. Whatever. I'm giving up. Anyway, he was uninjured. He
Yeah.
got out and called his parents on his cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Unsure of his exact location, he told them he believed he was near I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm gonna say Lind. I'm assuming it's a town in Minnesota. Yeah. Lind. And they drove out to pick him up. However, they were unable to locate him or his vehicle. Swanson remained on the phone with them until he went silent 47 minutes later after exclaiming, "Oh shit," and he's not been seen or heard from since.
Interesting.
In the morning, Swanson's parents reported him missing to police, who advised them to wait as long as much behavior were wait as such behavior was not uncommon for young men his age. Later that day, the circumstances of his disappearance became more complicated, with his cell phone records showed that he had been near Porter, 25 miles from where Swanson had said he was, in a different direction.
Yeah.
That information led to the discovery of his car in the ditch near Taunton, with the car. What are the name of these towns, dude?
No clue.
With the car doors open and keys missing. It is not known whether Swanson was aware of this discrepancy when he talked to his parents. Foul play has not been ruled out, but it has also been proposed that he might have accidentally fallen into the Yellow Medicine River, near where his car was found and drowned. Although extensive searches have not found a body, land searches with dogs had continued in the area for several years. His parents successfully lobbied the state legislature to pass Brandon's Law, which requires the police to begin investigations of missing adults promptly. Period.
Yeah.
So the thing is, there is more, but it goes into like more depth of basically what I just said.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't know if that's worth it because it's literally just saying the same thing, just like giving more details about the car he drove, or like it's like, oh, he went off in his Chevy, like literally, like he's like Swanson left the place he was for the 30-mile drive home before midnight, just about,
Yeah.
like, and it just says the same stuff kind of over and over There's one called Later Searches. I can look for that. After the original search found no swine of Swanson, um, most efforts were discontinued. Sheriff
Whiskey? These have to be made up.
Viseki?
Viseki? That's crazy.
continued to walk the 2 miles of the yellow medicine in that area every day for 30 days. The Swansons left their porch light on all night, every night, as a symbol for their hope that Brandon would eventually return or be found, and still do.
That's just like what we. No.
We do that too.
Just like we drew a picture of us.
So he can find his way home.
That's crazy. Um, research searches resumed late that fall after fields planted shortly after the disappearance had been harvested. Dogs on those searches continued to follow scents of human remains into an area northwest of Porter that had not been searched earlier. Efforts picked up again in the spring after snow melted, but before planting, a cycle that continued through 2011. But by that time, 122 square miles had been searched. In 2010, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension took over as lead agency on the case. It set up a tip line. By 2015, 90 leads had been reported that that way with the tip line. By that point, when official searchers resumed, the area of interest had moved towards Mud Creek, like that word, tributary of the Yellow Medicine north and northwest of Porter. Sorry, it's worth reading.
Theories?
Yeah, because I think it's like people.
Oh, like people theorizing.
Speculation. I want to hear that. Sure. Tell
Is
me.
anything interesting?
It's basically just like you know how earlier they said that it fell in the river.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's basically like what it seems like.
but
I can read it.
Sure, don't fall in the river. Sorry. Anyway,
That happens actually a lot.
a lot of people just fall in.
And then can't get out. Unfortunately.
That sucks.
sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah.
Continue.
Stand better.
Stand better. Swim
Slide.
better.
Swim better is crazy.
Okay. While the trail followed by one of the dogs went to the Yellow Medicine River, and despite her son's last known words, Annette Swanson, which I believe is his mother, does not think he drowned there. After following the scent to the water, the dog continued up across the other side and along the riverbank to another gravel road, where it continued north towards the Yellow Medicine County line and ended.
I should have thought you were gonna say the yellow brick road, and I was like, that's basically the same thing. Yeah.
There really is nothing to indicate that he's in the river, she told CNN. Brian Swanson also. Oh, that's different. Okay. Brian Swanson also recalled that any alcohol his son had consumed earlier in the evening, notwithstanding. That's what it says. He did not seem disoriented or confused during their phone conversations. So basically, he's just debunking the. Oh, he was drunk. He fell in the river.
Yeah.
If Swanson is still alive, there are other possibilities, although they appear remote. He could have intentionally disappeared, but his parents do not believe he would have done that.
Yeah.
Vishki
Viseki?
Vizeki, funky name, said he could not rule out foul play, even though there was no evidence of it. Someone could have been in the shadows and got him that way, he speculated. I'm assuming because this. When did this happen? It doesn't say. Hold on.
I mean,
2008.
oh,
May 14th, 2008.
And most of this stuff happened up until like 2015. Probably still going on, but I'm not sure. Um,
My case goes from spans like 30 years.
Mine spans a good almost spans 20 years. So
Yeah, they're not really letting it go because the families aren't letting it go fully.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
mine really doesn't span. It's kind of like this happened then. It's been updated a little bit, and it's been
Oh, kind of like my
closed.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just like,
Yeah.
The next section that I don't think I'm gonna read, honestly, is about the Brandon's Law that they had made, where they said earlier that they had that made where the police officers and whatnot have to investigate missing people's
Immediately.
cases properly. Like
Yeah,
so.
like
Yeah.
dude, yeah, because they won't investigate cases for
24 hours.
24
You
to
can't-
48 hours.
You
Yeah.
can't report a missing person for 24 to 48 hours.
For adults.
Children
Yeah.
are different,
And then-
but yeah, no, adults are.
Some cases where it's just like children that are like more of like teens, I'd say. You can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but like children is a different story.
Children
That
is a
goes like
different
more
story.
like Amber Alerts.
Yeah.
Instead of like, those are more
Like a missing
most of
person.
the time those are
They're
shielded.
always high priority.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
they're
they-
Other than
yeah.
adults.
like
'Cause
adults-
could be like, oh well, they just probably like just didn't know contact for a bit because they're just
Because
trying
the
to.
thing is, teens and adults are more likely to just kind of like cut everyone off.
Yeah.
And dip.
Children are like, ooh, they need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need help to like do things.
Yeah.
They can't
Especially
hunt
16
her
and up.
do anything,
They can't just.
Yeah.
They
Just
can.
go
They
into the wild
have.
They
and be
can.
100% okay.
Yeah, because like a 16 and up year old, like they have.
have
9 times out of 10, they probably have their license. They probably have a car.
Yeah.
They probably have their own life, and they probably just overslept at their friend's house.
Yeah, but with like children,
With a child,
they have no real reason to just
yeah,
disappear on their own
yeah.
purposefully. You know what I mean? Like they have no reason.
Well, there's plenty of kids that run away and do that thing, but
Yeah,
some
yeah,
do it for
it's dumb
attention
still.
and blah blah blah.
Well, yes, but also I mean like they genuinely like how an adult would.
Yeah.
Not like that.
Yeah, no, they can't get far.
No.
Not easily.
Not
really.
like an adult.
12,
If I wanted to and not tell anybody, I could literally like move
12
many
to
states
15 is
away and
probably,
just
like-
never talk to anyone again.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then just like dip. You know,
yeah.
like
yeah.
that a child can't do.
And even if a
Crazy.
child does try to run away and do that, they still
Can't drive.
they still can't do it. And not it's not it's more about the fact that no matter even if they wanted to and it was an intentional thing, they still need to come back.
Yeah.
That's the difference between a child and
Someone's
an
gonna
adult.
find them. Some
They're
nice
gonna be
little lady. They're gonna be found
Because
probably very easily
seeing a child like
by themselves alone.
at like night or something.
That's
walking around.
questionable. Yeah. Why are you out alone?
Why is that happening? Like you ask questions. If
Yeah.
I saw a child on the street just kind of like acting like had their bag or something, I'd be like, "You okay?
What's happening?
Where are you going? You
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of creepy, but also if I need to figure out information to make sure this child is okay, I'm
Yeah.
worth the risk.
Like
They'd
this.
be like, sorry, I'm about to be real creepy, but
I saw a video of this
you do
guy who had to like record himself
Mm.
just for his own safety
Yeah.
because there was like a baby just strolling around in like a shirt and a diaper. And like he was like, bro, where did you come from? Like because he was just walking around the neighborhood, and so he ended up calling the police or whatever. And like the door, like the kid, like where the kid came from, like the front door was like wide open and whatnot. Like they just didn't really. But it was definitely like I feel bad too for anyone who has like who found a kid and has to
Yeah.
protect themselves because then it's like
Because the parent tries to fight it. Because
Yeah.
they're just like, oh.
no, you took my kid.
yeah,
But also it's just like they a lot of times with those kinds of situations, they
They'll
don't
say
want
stuff.
to accept the fact that they made a mistake.
and
They
that
left
they're
the door.
bad parents.
They left it
Yeah.
unlocked.
They
They did something.
don't have a child lock that prevents a child from easily because a child at a certain age they get tall enough and
To open
smart
doors.
enough where they can reach up and unlock the door.
Especially they watch. They see what you're
And
doing. They
especially
know
if-
what things do.
Especially highly autistic children who are prone to running away
Mm-hmm.
because they just want to go. Like
They're
even if they're not
explorers.
just they just want to go.
They're exploring.
So like,
Going places.
exactly. This one, why we need her on a leash.
You get a nice little all of a sudden I'm running suddenly and she's like, I got a tracker.
Yeah.
I don't worry that much
She
as long as she
genuinely-
has her phone. She genuinely is like, I'll just look where she is.
Yeah.
Where she ends up.
Chip.
Because all of a sudden I'm like, she'll just start taking off.
My elbow.
You okay?
No,
She hit her funny bone. It wasn't that funny.
I'll read mine next. Are we ready?
yes. Are you sure you're ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you're ready,
I
but
don't think you're ready. I think you're ready for this chick.
Oh, fuck that thing,
I
man.
moved it.
I hate it.
I asked if you wanted to put it somewhere.
Fuck that bitch. Okay. I'm on my elbow, man. Always. Oh, good.
Always
Burger.
me. I used to have elbows.
No. No, I'm just like, oh, just. All right, anyway. So my case is from 1991. It occurred on April 4th, and it's an abduction slash disappearance of a girl named Angela Hammond or Angie Hammond. Now we're gonna go into it. So on the night of April 4th, 1991, 20-year-old Angie Hammond spoke to her fiance on a payphone. She's also pregnant, by the way, just in case you need. I don't think it's gonna mention that, but she's pregnant. Telling him that she was too tired to go out and that she just wanted to go home and take a bath. During the course of this conversation, a suspicious man caught Angie's attention as he circled around the block multiple times in his pickup truck. Eventually, the stranger pulled up beside her, got out of his vehicle, and began shining a flashlight at the ground around it, as if looking for something. Meanwhile, Angie continued to talk to Rob on the phone, describing the man's strange behavior and becoming increasingly unsettled by his presence. Just minutes later, Rob would hear Angie scream and the chilling words of her abductor saying, I didn't need to use the phone anyway. Then the line went dead. So let's go into more detail now. So, on earlier that day, right, because that was at nighttime, that was like a little around 11:15 p.m. Earlier that day, Angie and Rob went to a barbecue at her mother's home and enjoyed themselves. Now, as you do. Afterwards, Angie dropped off Rob at his family's house as he had promised to babysit his brother until his mother returned home from work. Angie departed and spent the next few hours with her friend Kyla. Around 11:15 p.m., she called Rob from a payphone in the Food Barn parking lot, 7 blocks away from the Schaefer family home. She told her fiance that she felt too tired to go out later and she was going home to take a bath instead. There was no telephone in their residence, and it wasn't uncommon for them to communicate by payphone at times like this. As they spoke, Angie noticed that a green Ford pickup truck kept circling around the block. Eventually, the driver, a person that Angie would describe as a filthy bearded man with a mustache, wearing a dark baseball cap and overalls, pulled up next to her. The pickup truck had a distinctive detail on its rear windshield, a large mural of a fish jumping out of the water. The man exited his vehicle and immediately took out a flashlight and started looking at the ground around his truck. Confused by his behavior, Angie asked the stranger if he needed to use the phone. He told her no, but continued to stand there. By now, Angie was becoming nervous. If he didn't need to use the phone and he couldn't go inside the grocery store since it was closed, then why was he lingering there? And why had he circled around the block multiple times before stopping? Chillingly, the next thing Rob heard was the sound of Angie screaming, the voice of a man saying, I didn't need to use the phone anyway, before the call abruptly ended. Repetitive. Rob ran out of his parents' house, got into his car, and sped off, hoping to help Angie. On the way there, he passed a truck that looked like the one described by her, heading in the opposite direction, and heard his fiancée calling out his name. Rob threw his car sharply in reverse, unintentionally damaging the transmission in the process, and took off in frantic pursuit of Angie and her captor. He followed them for 2 miles before his transmission finally gave out as he made a turn. He could only watch helplessly as the truck disappeared into the distance. He managed to see an XY on the license plate, but the rest of the number was obscured by dirt. So, in the search for her, the Missouri State Highway Patrol conducted a very extensive search on land and by air for Angie Hammond. They also checked hundreds of late 1960s to early 70s green Ford pickup trucks, but were unable to find the one belonging to her abductor. It was confirmed that the transmission of Rob's car had, in fact, failed, yet the police were initially skeptical of his version of events. However, Rob cooperated with the investigation from the beginning and also passed a polygraph examination. Polygraphs aren't really that reliable, though, so anyway, by the way, it's fine. Okay, within days, witnesses came forward to report having seen a strange man in a green truck hanging around the parking lot that night, corroborating Rob's story. Additionally, the Hammond family's support of Rob and belief in his innocence never wavered. Rob was soon cleared of any suspicion. So this is a quote from the chief of police, saying, "We're staying right on it. We're still looking for the vehicle, for the suspect, and for Angela. There's been nothing really solid, though, in this 4-week time span." So here's some sightings. The police continued to look for Angie, but had no luck locating her. All told, dozens of investigators followed hundreds of leads, to no avail. They couldn't find any sign of the missing pregnant woman or the distinctive truck she was last seen in. There were a number of reported sightings of her from multiple states and even Canada, but none could be substantiated. Perhaps the most interesting of these sightings was the one that took place in Canada in September 1991. The witness, a man named Russell Smith, allegedly spotted Angie in Selkirk, Manitoba, Canada. He saw her leave a drugstore and get into a green truck with a fish mural on the rear windshield. Smith was reminded of the encounter when he spotted a missing persons poster with her face on it a month later. "I know I saw that girl. I know that for a fact. I may not remember someone's name, but I never forget a face," Smith said. Although the lead initially seemed promising and investigators didn't necessarily doubt Smith's sincerity, they were never able to confirm his story. With no solid leads to pursue, Angie's case soon grew cold. Clinton police detective Damon Parsons stated 6 months after Angie's disappearance, "There's someone out there who has information, but they just may not realize it. Until they come forward or until she's found, there really is not much more we can do." So they think there's possible connections to 2 other cases. Um, and they're regarding women who had also disappeared within a 100-mile radius of Clinton. The first case involved 42-year-old Trudy Darby, who vanished in Max Creek, Missouri on January 19th, 1991. That evening, she called her son to report a suspicious man lurking in the parking lot of the convenience store where she worked. Her son arrived just minutes later to find both his mother and the man missing. The lifeless body of Trudy was found 2 days later on a riverbank 10 miles away from the store. She had been R-worded and shot in the head. Her half-brothers, Marvin Cheney and Jesse Rush, were later convicted of the crime. The other case that police felt might be relevant was the disappearance of 30-year-old Cheryl Kenny, also a convenience store worker from Nevada, Missouri, which was 70 miles away from Max Creek. After locking up for the night on February 27th, 1991, Cheryl vanished from the parking lot. She has never been found, and her case remains unsolved. So, more into the suspects that they're looking into because of those connections. They've pursued several suspects, but none were ever definitively connected to Angie Hammond's case. So I understand this is all speculation and allegedly potential speculation type shit. Okay. So Marvin Cheney and Jesse Rush, that's the 2 that were convicted of Trudy Darby's murder, the first woman. In a series of letters that Jesse Rush sent to a fellow inmate he'd befriended while awaiting trial for the murder of Trudy Darby, he alluded to being responsible, along with his stepbrother, for several other unsolved R-word and murder cases. While some believed that Cheney and Rush had likely abducted and murdered Angie and Cheryl as well, the 2 men have never admitted to any culpability in either case, and no solid evidence tying them to the disappearances of these 2 women has ever been discovered. So then on Kenneth McDuff, a serial killer, has also come up as a person of interest. McDuff, whose killing spree spanned from 1966 to 1992, was known to target mostly young women, and in 1992 he was living in Kansas City, Missouri, approximately 76 miles away from Clinton. Prior to his execution in 1998, McDuff admitted to committing many murders, but denied any involvement in Angie's abduction. As with Cheney and Rush, no evidence connected him to her case has been found. Larry Hall. Similarly, suspected serial killer Larry Hall has been put forward as a suspect. He even bears a resemblance to the description of the man who kidnapped Angie. You know, scruffy, dirty man with a beard. We haven't seen plenty of those. All right. However, Hall was known to use a van during his crimes, not a truck. Yeah, maybe he was feeling a little different that day. Though he has confessed to killing dozens of women across the Midwest, so far only 2 have been confirmed, he has never claimed responsibility for or been linked to Angie. So then, in 2021, we have an update. 30 years later, right? Actually, yeah, so almost like exactly 30 years later, they found this. They received a letter. And the letter I'm going to put up here so you can see. It's very interesting. It's made with newspaper cuttings. And it says, when some of the spelling is not right, you'll see. But anyway, it says, hello number, and then redacted. They redacted the number because they're specifically referring to a person, and that is known. So that's why that's redacted. Anyway, hello number. We know who you are, number. People like you deserve what you get. We know where your foxy daughter is at. She will see us soon. Tell his wife's name. She has our deepest sympathy in her further loss. Goodbye. So, yep. Yeah, no, literally. None of it's spelled right. You'll see all the redacted parts. Anyway, so yeah, this is the 30th anniversary of Angie's kidnapping, and that's when they would announce that they had this new lead. The letter writer correctly identified the informant's court-issued number and knew the name of his estranged wife as well. Additionally, the couple had a daughter named Angela, who was living in Clinton at the time. The informant was a key witness in putting an end to a big drug operation. The letter was postmarked April 4th, 1991, the day of Angie's kidnapping. If genuine, the implications of the letter suggest that Angie Hammond might have been the victim of mistaken identity and that the perpetrator had actually intended to abduct another woman. On the other hand, it seems implausible that the abductor would somehow know that Angie Hammond, a random young woman standing at a payphone, had the same first name as the person they were targeting, but was also somehow unaware that she was the wrong one. The authorities were also contacted by an anonymous caller claiming to have information on the case. They had knowledge about the letter as well. Police were hopeful that this individual would get in touch again, but they apparently haven't. So, some other developments is obviously Angie's family has never given up on finding her. Think this is something her mom says. Yes, it is. Okay. I know the statistics aren't good at this point for finding her, but until something happens, you can't give up, said Angie's mother, Marcia. The hope is always going to be there. I'm trying to prepare myself for the worst and yet trying to hope for the best. I'm taking it one day at a time. Marcia developed a friendship with Janice McCall, the mother of Stacy McCall, who mysteriously vanished along with her friends Susie Streeter and Susie's mother Cheryl on June 7th, 1992. The missing women are often referred to as the Springfield Three. Another quote. It's not a bond you want to have, but at least there's someone else going through this. It was like meeting a long-lost friend, said Janice McCall. Sadly, Marcia passed away in 2021, having never found her daughter or closure. Rob Shaver was distraught and deeply depressed following Angie's kidnapping. If you don't remember, Rob Shaver is her fiance. And yeah. He felt that he had failed to protect her. He moved away from the area and eventually started a family of his own. Angie's case was featured on some episodes of like Unsolved Mysteries. So if you're ever curious about this case, you can find it in other places too. To this day, the fate of Angie Hammond, as well as the identity of her abductor, remains a mystery. Thank you for the applause.
Mm-hmm.
So wow.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
That was very
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
feel
made
like
me
that one guy
sad.
Yeah. Reported something.
I feel so bad for the fiance. I mean, yeah, it's still suspicious because if he knows anything about cars, he could have like purposefully failed his transmission
Yeah.
and
True.
messed with it. But it also makes sense that in panic and in those times older cars, there's a solid chance he could mess up the transmission
especially
from
'cause
like
if
flinging
he's
it.
trying to get to her as quickly as possible, he probably was like wasn't thinking about his car.
Yeah, he was like just trying, and that's why and also though I can't imagine what that did to him. I was so terrified that he was gonna like off himself.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know,
I was scared.
I would have.
talked about him last
I was like, ooh, I'm scared.
When I was
Yeah.
first reading this
I was
through,
like-
I was like, please tell me he
Alive.
somehow moved on.
He's okay.
Because like can imagine how painful that is, that you know
Yeah.
that if you had just taken that extra second to
Make sure you're
properly pull
Mhm.
out do your like
Or, like-
change gears,
Yeah.
if he had taken that extra second,
Or
He
like
might have been-
gotten in the car way early when she first called to pick her up rather than sitting on the phone with her.
yeah, but I think it's more so. I think what probably bothers him most is that
He
if he had
could've-
taken that extra second to properly shift his car into reverse,
Yeah.
his car would have never broken down, and he wouldn't have had to watch the truck disappear
Yeah.
Literally.
into the distance because he was on its trail. That
Yeah.
extra second could have saved her, and I think I can imagine how that
Heartbreaking, man.
destroyed him probably
Yeah.
because he
Oh, for
feels like
sure.
he failed. It's like he feels like he messed up. I can
Probably.
feel that.
If
Yeah,
he didn't
for
do it, but yeah, for sure. Yeah.
If he didn't do it, it's
He
crazy.
didn't do it.
I really don't think he did. Look at this boy.
No,
There's pictures in like the article that I've read.
No,
where
I was
he's
looking
like
over your shoulder.
when you were like,
this poor little guy.
yeah.
Yeah. And depending, like, saying how fast he went after her, too,
Yeah.
that shows that he wouldn't have, done something like this for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they proved it with his car being messed up.
Yeah.
His car is messed up, and that proves his story happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that guy said the only other thing is if he purposefully messed up his
Did it on
car in
purpose, yeah.
advance.
Yeah, but
But I really doubt it
I doubt it too.
because also he would have then have to get his car fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but maybe he's willing to risk all those things. But I sincerely doubt it.
Yeah.
I think he really was trying his best to save her.
I would have crashed out hard for sure.
Dude, if this ever happened to like my fiance, I'd kill myself.
For real.
Like, genuinely, like I don't think I would be able to handle that, especially in a situation
Knowing
he
that,
was in.
yeah,
And
knowing that I
literally
could
that it
have.
was literally like right there,
Yeah.
He was
know?
on his trail. He was there. He saw
Yeah.
the truck. He heard
right behind the truck.
he heard Angie calling his
for
name
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
from the truck.
literally.
That
I
part
mean-
gives me the most chills. Like that he was right there. He heard her.
Yeah. I mean, we do have not a manual. We have an automatic car.
Yeah,
So like theoretically we wouldn't have that issue.
yeah.
But, like,
still, if-
yeah.
like,
Especially back
if
then
I
it was
him,
probably
though,
Yeah,
like,
oh, if I was him, I would
lost my mind, dude.
I would have just got out of the car and started running. I'm not he probably did.
Genuinely, I probably would have too.
Yeah.
But also, you don't know how
Because
the other
you're
guy's
seeing
going.
them.
Literally, quaggy.
Yeah. I would have tried to hit him with my car. She'd be fine. Yeah, hopefully.
Are
Yeah.
you ready, Nicole?
You ready?
Yeah, so this is the abduction of Kamaya Mobley. This is like kind of like a lot to read, but so she was missing since July 10th, 1998, from Jacksonville, Florida. It was classified as a non-family abduction. Her date of birth, July 10th, 1998. She was several hours old. Like she had just been born. If she was an infant, like a
Stole her straight from the womb.
she was stolen from the hospital. Yes, she was 1 foot 9 inches and 8 pounds.
Yo, I came out the womb like 3 feet tall. I'm not joking.
She did. She did.
That poor baby.
I was there. She did.
My poor mother.
Your poor mother.
She will talk about it forever. She's like, "You broke me."
Yeah,
Which is
valid.
true.
I did the same to my mom. Anyway, so some distinguished at the time, this distinguishing characteristics was she was African American female, black hair, brown eyes. Her name pronounced Kamaya. Had an umbilical hernia at birth because they just snipped it. There's illustrations and stuff in here of approximately what she looked like the photo on top, because they didn't even get a chance to take a photo of her after she was born. So, because she was she was fresh.
Me when I'm fresh.
Anyway, she was so her mother had been
Me when I'm right out the oven.
no. So her mom had been tested positive for sickle cell anemia and strep type B while pregnant with Kamaya. So the baby did not receive any metabolic screening at the time of her abduction. So she was definitely in need of medical attention um, before she was last seen. So she didn't even get a chance, no shots, no nothing. Not okay as a baby.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the thing is, no immune system,
yeah,
nothing,
and she doesn't have
needs medical attention.
yeah.
It's fresh baby out.
Unless she was given to another couple and they paid off for that. What country is it?
This one,
This was? Okay, I was
Florida.
okay, yeah. But
Well,
she could be
still a
paid.
country.
Yeah. The doctors, this has happened before where nurses and doctors were paid off to
Oh, yeah, no, I
give the
read
baby to another
a
couple.
Reddit about that.
She could. There is a chance, very slim, but there is a chance she could have
I'm
gotten
not
treatment.
done yet, but that's not
And
at all what happened.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
I was
Never
gonna
mind.
say because I mean, obviously you haven't read it yet, but it's a good.
No,
thing.
I read it.
Well, I meant you
Oh,
haven't read it yet.
Oh,
I meant like I feel like if she suspected it was the doctors and stuff and whatnot, she would have been able to. She could do
Yeah.
she would have been able to take those things and whatnot. Um, those things would have happened. I don't know if they have because obviously you didn't tell us yet, but she would have been able to be like, oh, Nurse B was acting suspicious,
they wouldn't act suspicious, but
Oh, but they would. Some people are really nervous about things and they
True.
can't tell that they're being off.
Yeah.
You know,
Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is the details of her disappearance. So Kamaya's mother, hold on, Shinara Mobley delivered at 7 a.m. on July 10th, 1998 at University Medical Center in Jacksonville, Florida. Authorities believe that an unidentified African American woman who posed as a nurse abducted Kamaya from that afternoon. Sketches of the artist are posted below the case summary, so she'll probably put it on the screen. Um, the suspect apparently befriended Shinara while she was admitted as a patient. Investigators believe that the abductor passed herself off as a Mobley family member to hospital staff while continuing to assume the role of a medical professional when dealing with Shinara. The suspect waited in the hospital for 14 hours, repeatedly asking nurses when the baby would be leaving the nursery. She was in Shinara's hospital room periodically from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on July 10th, after Kamaya's birth. The abductor told Shinara that there was a problem with Kamaya's temperature at approximately 3 p.m. and said that she would return with the infant in approximately 20 minutes. She apparently walked out of the university medical center with Kamaya afterwards. Neither she nor the child has been seen again. The abductor is described as a 25 and 47-year-old, between 25 and 47 years old of age. She is approximately 5'5" and 150 to 160 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. The suspect was wearing a black mushroom style wig, reading glasses, a nurse's flower print jacket, heel medical pants, black shoes, and surgical gloves.
Mushroom style wig. I'm sorry. What?
Bob.
Mushroom head.
Bob. No, they drew it as a bob.
I know, but
bowl cut. Yeah,
bowl cut could also work.
yeah, either one.
They really said this woman got a bob or a pixie cut, but hit her with the mushroom do. They said that woman looked like a mushroom. Crying for that. That's fucking wild. Of all ways to describe someone, mushroom is not it. I'm sorry, I did not think of that. Good one though.
She was carrying a large sized black vinyl or leather bag. The suspect also wore a plastic identification badge with the rear side facing upward, which was similar in size to the official University Medical Center badges. Authorities stated that the abductor seemed to have knowledge of the center's building layout and was also familiar with medical terminology. Kamaya's father, Craig Akin, was charged with lewd assault after Kamaya's disappearance, as he was
of age, but Shannara was only 15 years old at the time the child was conceived and unable to legally consent to sexual intercourse. Akin was 19 when his daughter was abducted. Shannara had just turned 16. She sued the hospital for $250,000 in damages after Kamaya's abduction and was given a monetary settlement, the terms of which are confidential. Shannara and Akin have not been very cooperative with police investigation of their daughter's abduction. Neither of their families are actively helping to find Kamaya, and Akin and Shannara have refused to give permission for age progression pictures to be done of the baby. Her case is open but inactive due to lack of leads. Kamaya and her abductor have never been located. Authorities believe the baby was kidnapped by someone who wanted to raise a child and is probably being well cared for. Kamaya's case remains unsolved. That was updated November, was it November 11th? November 11th, 2005 was the last time this site was updated. But there is a update on the news. So okay, so this is same place, Jacksonville, Florida. The woman who admitted to taking a newborn baby from a Jacksonville hospital 20 years ago was sentenced Friday to 18 years in prison for kidnapping and 5 years on a second charge of interference with child custody. Gloria Williams pleaded guilty earlier this year. This is in 2018, by the way. To posing as a hospital employee on July 10th, 1998, taking 8-pound, 2-ounce Kamaya Mobley from her mother's arms, walking out of the hospital and driving to South Carolina. There are no winners and no losers in this case. It's a very sad case, and many people have suffered, including Miss Williams, Circuit Judge Marianne Aho. I'm so sorry. Just before announcing the sentence. The family in this case suffered not knowing what happened to their child for approximately 18 years. Aho says Williams will receive credit for the 511 days she had been held in jail since her arrest, and that the sentence would be served concurrently, so her total time in prison would be just under 17 years. Aho also ordered that Williams was not to profit in any way from the crime. Williams, who showed little emotion as the sentence was read, was given 30 days to file an appeal on the sentencing, although she cannot appeal her guilty plea. Prosecutors were satisfied with the length of the sentence handed down to Williams. Their punishment didn't really have a joy to it. Assistant State Attorney Alan Mazzari said after the hearing, "The happiness came from announcing to this family that we had found their daughter." Missouri said it was rare having a victim who wasn't truly angry at the defendant. In a brief statement, Craig Akin, Kamaya's biological father, said he wanted to thank God, the investigators, prosecutors, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and the community. "I believe now that this is over, we can continue on our journey of healing together as a family and support our daughter on her decision making," Atkins said. News4Jax legal analyst Rhonda Peoples Waters, that's a great name, said the judge chose a sentence of 18 years not only because that's how much time Kamaya's biological family was separated from their daughter, but because that's also how much time Williams had to bring her back. It's important to remember the state negotiated the range of 0 to 22 years. It could have been more than that, People's Water said. 18-year secret unravels. So, this is, kind of what happened. Williams named the child Alexis Manigo and raised her as her daughter. During last month's sentencing hearing, Williams said she didn't tell the girl her true identity until she discovered she couldn't get a driver's license because she didn't have a valid birth certificate or social security card. Williams admitted she took the baby from the hospital at a time when her life was spiraling out of control. Williams said she was coping with depression and an abusive relationship. She also apologized to Kamaya and the girl's biological parents. She said if she could go back in time, she would not have taken the baby. "I know I wronged you and I'm sorry. In so many days, I just wanted to pick that child up and say, get in the car, let's go. I just couldn't, Williams said. Shanara Mobley was very emotional during her testimony. She shared how the kidnapping impacted her. She was suicidal and still hurting years later. I'm still hurting when you're reaching out to my child. This is my child. I am your mother, Kamaya. I am your mother, cried Mobley. Mobley wanted Gloria Williams to spend a long time behind bars in order to build a relationship with her child. Mobley wants to make sure Williams won't be close by. Mobley could have faced up to life in prison for first degree kidnapping, but prosecutors agreed to a 22-year maximum sentence in her plea agreement. In her sentencing statement, Aho wrote that no violence was associated with Miss Mobley's kidnapping, and although the court is sympathetic to a victim's family, any kidnapping is especially cruel. Aho went to outline why she did not pursue a lengthier sentence. This crime does not appear to be aberration, in defendant's character, as the vast majority of testimony presented indicated the defendant is a good person, Aho wrote. The girl abducted nearly 2 decades ago, now a young woman raised under a false identity, has formally changed her name back to Kamaya. Kamaya had said she hopes the court will impose a lenient sentence on the woman who raised her, but remained far away during Friday's sentencing. Her paternal great-grandmother, Barbara Stewart, told News4Jax that the now 19-year-old stayed in North Carolina, not wanting to attend Friday's sentencing because she did not want to to decide whether or not to stay with her birth family or the family that raised her. Stewart said Kamaya was left in an unimaginable position and has a long road ahead of her. Some things got to be worked out still, because she loves the lady that had taken her away, and she loves her mother, Stewart says. And sometimes it's just going to take some time for it to heal. Stewart says she believes Williams is sorry for what she did. The lady that had her did take care of her, and thank God for that. But still, that don't make it right, she said. And a little, I think, where is it? A little more in depth on the actual kidnapping. So Williams had apparently experienced a miscarriage beforehand, which is why she kidnapped Kamaya and named the baby, Kamaya Alexis. And she said, where is it? Yeah, that's it.
That's pretty common in baby abductions, like straight from the hospital and stuff.
Yeah, I like nurses do that. So
Did you say that like the mom and the dad weren't willing to?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so why though?
I don't know, bro.
Because I feel like if that was my baby, I'd do everything in my power.
Yeah.
Make sure that her face is seen, that people know about this.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm glad that they caught her.
It was
and
already
like, damn.
weird enough.
wait, to know about the
because
face of who?
They didn't want to basically
cooperate
put
with
her
the
out
police.
there
Yeah.
or like work with the police officers to get her more exposure, like the baby
Yeah.
exposure.
Oh, to show
Yeah.
this picture and everything.
What I thought was weird, because I
They
didn't
wanted to do,
fully,
like,
I
age.
skimmed through this
Got it.
just to
Yeah.
check, make sure I had everything. But the fact that the dad was 19 and the mom was 16 at the
Yeah.
birth of
Yeah.
Kamaya, but he was still 18 and she was 15. Weird. And I think he went to jail for that because she wasn't of
Yeah. He
a
did that.
consensual age.
Yeah.
When the baby was conceived, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that part.
But it's I mean, it's it's for sure weird. But
I
the fact that that whole thing happened where she was the mom was kind of not, she was a minor when she had
Yeah.
Kamaya.
I mean, it's entirely possible that's why they didn't want
yeah.
that to happen, because also the dad was going to jail because of the thing, and then also she was a child
Yeah.
herself.
So maybe she didn't want to.
And it was probably not even their decision. It was
Yeah.
probably their parents' decision.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but also I feel like it would have happened. Like it would have helped bring it sooner
Absolutely.
for sure. But
I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely hard because infant and
yeah,
anyone can have an infant, and since they didn't know definitively what the suspect at the time looked like.
yeah,
Yeah. And I wonder, I mean, it's hard for me to pay attention like whole hard to every detail, but um I wonder if she had a better life potentially because the person who kidnapped her
Was probably more
Wasn't it-
well off and an adult.
and more in a capable position. Obviously, I'm assuming it seemed like her actual birth mother's parents, like so Kamaya's grandparents would
Yeah.
have taken care of her and helped and done all of that. But I wonder,
It would have been for sure different because having your mom be
Yeah.
what 15, 16 years older than you.
yeah, and I really don't want to say that she would have been better off. I don't really want to say that. It's
No.
more like, I mean, that maybe she potentially was raised in less of a stressful household.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could put that.
Yeah.
I wonder. I'm not saying she was and that would
Wasn't.
be true, but I'm wondering if in some ways that could be true.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming it was at least not awful
Yeah.
because she said she still like she cares
Loves
about
her.
her, loves
Yeah.
her,
Loves her.
and, you know, and
camper.
doesn't want her to, she wants
So
them to
obviously
be
there
lenient with
wasn't
her
like
friends and
they,
stuff.
they were like
Yeah.
they had a good relationship.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
just
it just
like,
she does
I
see
can
this woman
understand
as her
the
mom.
Yeah.
I can understand definitely the hurt and like
Like,
the
don't get me
betrayal
wrong.
feeling.
Yeah.
Like, finding
If I
that out.
if I had gotten kidnapped and I like lived the life I'm living now, and then I found out that my parents weren't my parents, but they were rich, I'd be pissed. But it seems like it was more of a low key. Again, not saying she was better off, but like
Yeah.
she might have had a little bit more of a
I also think
Difficult childhood.
Yeah.
It's also like we're saying, still not better off, but also probably for the mother too, because
Yeah.
she continued to be a child.
Yeah,
You know,
she wasn't
grow up normally.
she
Yeah.
wasn't turned into a
Hopefully.
mother.
You know, hopefully. But
Because I've seen what happened. Like I've seen a lot of teen moms who
had to
stay
give up
teen
so
moms
much. You
had to
know,
give up, and they kind of become little assholes.
And not
Yeah.
even that, it just crashes their life.
Yeah.
It stunts their lives and they can't
Grow up.
they
Yeah.
don't get to go to school a lot of time. They don't get to go to college properly. A lot of them end
Yeah.
up dropping out of high school.
Yeah.
not
if it's
getting
that
proper
young.
education. You know, like they don't get as many opportunities.
And obviously there's so many women where they would say, I wouldn't do anything differently. I still got my child, and they would love their child.
Yeah.
I
But
agree.
for a lot of women, in some ways it ruins their life from an objective standpoint. But also they got a child and
So
they
they made
wouldn't
it
do
work.
anything. Yeah, they made
Yeah.
it work, and they wouldn't want anything different.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, and I get that, honestly, agreed. But from the objective standpoint of like a lot of society, they would say like, oh, you ruined your childhood by getting pregnant as a teen. You know, like
Yeah.
we've all heard that, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any other final thoughts?
Except for the fact this was fun.
Yeah.
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 It's interesting. At least I feel like your story was the only one that really had a
Mine had an ending. Yes.
had a good ending. Has been closed.
That's-
Ours are cold
That's
cases.
why I wanted to go last just to end on a good note rather than
I
like
agree.
they're still missing, they're still out there, which
Yeah.
there are several people. I've been doing like just looking at things
Yeah.
and seeing how many people have gone missing.
A
Definitely
lot.
like hurts your heart a little,
Oh, for sure.
especially when they're mainly women,
And it's like they're somewhere.
children.
Because like
They're
the thing we were looking at, a lot of we were looking mostly on Reddit, and the thing is, some of them were so like recent,
Yeah,
like
Mhm.
the
so
and stuff,
recent.
and I was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable talking about those because maybe the families aren't ready, you know, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's why I was okay with stuff
Still,
like
like-
this far long.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
we chose like old cases.
Yeah.
Yeah,
specifically.
I was kind of scared for a little bit while
Yeah.
looking, so I was just like, I don't know if I would be comfortable talking about something this
No,
recent. 'Cause the
absolutely
thing is,
not.
like the more recent ones were the ones that, to me, like seemed more,
Real.
not real, but captivating.
Yeah.
Like more interesting. I don't want to say that because that makes me feel bad because obviously it's a missing person thing. But you know what I mean? Like to choose to be read. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I needed to be hooked in. You know, I
Yeah.
love reading things. But it just like was throwing me off. 'Cause, like, well, I don't want to read that because obviously it's like
It's
fresh.
still
Yeah,
it's
they're
still
fresh,
going.
they're
It's still
current.
ongoing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like
You know,
haven't done much.
I read
Typical
another
case.
thing where it was like a lot of people who go missing or get trafficked and stuff are tend to be Black, Hispanic, and Native,
and
and obviously
Women and
all
children.
women and children. Yeah, that's the main thing because you'll never see a man get. Anyway,
Well, the one guy, some Swanson.
well, I mean, we
Brandon
don't know what
Swanson.
he was drunk and fell in the river.
Yeah,
There's nothing else besides that. They can't rule out foul play.
What about
But
what about that guy? I was looking at something. Patrick
man,
Moriarty or something, and his dog
we don't have time for
Kelly.
you to go on this.
That poor man. He was. Anyway, no. Okay, it's a very short. Literally, this is all the information they have. Okay, this guy and his dog. He's 70-year-old man. He lives in a town of 12 people. He is one of the 12 people in Australia.
is the dog also?
I don't know. Anyway, what's hilarious in this town of 12 people is they have a pub. But anyway, he left the pub. He was on his way home.
So he's drunk.
He lives a kilometer away from this pub. He is and it seemed like they said that him and his dog left in a hurry. He sat down for a meal and didn't clean up, left half the meal there, and everything was left in a mess, and he just gone. And so all of the 11 other townspeople are suspects, and that's that story.
Ooh, I'd love to go to that town and just interview everyone.
They're like, where were you?
For you.
Were you on the night of
Australia
this
trip. Fund us. I don't want to go to Australia. I think that's like the one place I really don't want to go.
Yeah, Australia is very scary.
Too many. The biter. I don't want to do it. No, thank you.
Okay.
Anyway,
Jessica's afraid of spiders.
oh guys, I think that's a good time to end this. Sorry. Oh, we brought that up. Oh, we were finally feeling a little bit
painful.
already.
Well,
That's it.
so that was it for this podcast.
Raising awareness.
Yeah.
Raising awareness, definitely. I feel like
Don't kidnap people.
yeah,
that's
please
messed up.
don't kidnap people
And you know what? If you're for the
unless
kidnap,
you're
don't
hot
disappear.
and rich.
No, don't do that. Don't disappear.
you're in the
Try
market.
that. Do better. Don't stand at a payphone.
Yeah. What are
At
you doing
night.
Painful.
Screw those payphones.
Just go straight home. I would
Just go
honestly like.
I
I know, I
would
get it,
just
but
go
like, yeah,
Stand near rivers.
he'll find out you got home.
Yeah,
He'll find out.
he should just go home.
But I also understand that was before the early 2000s scare of abductions.
Yeah, that's
which
another
all
thing
of a sudden-
about
In the early 2000s, that's when stranger danger became a thing. And
Mhm.
before then, people weren't fully on it. People didn't lock their doors.
the fact that there were 2 serial killers in the span of what 80 miles of that town.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
The amount of serial killers that people don't
Oh, absolutely.
insane.
Yeah, just like me. Anyway,
I was gonna say one of us is probably one right now. Figure it out.
yeah.
I told you.
Anyway, bye.
Bye. Like the car
Ended?
stuff. Yeah, I felt the need to.
Oh, sick. All right.
I like turning.